Hi, I'm Becky. Today we're going to walk and talk, and we're going to talk about the benefits of different exercises that we do while we're walking. Today I'm kettlebell-less. I had a virus, the virus, and I just don't feel up to the kettlebells. I'm still a little dizzy. I got the dizziness before I got sick, I guess as a pre-sick, and now I feel like I'm over the sick, but I'm not over the dizziness. But we're going to do the best we can because we need to move every day. So let's go. I feel funny walking with nothing in my hands because I almost always have my kettlebells. And I'm going to be walking just a little bit slower today. But that's okay. I'm moving. And that's the important part. We all need to move every day. We do as much as we can and add if we can. But on days that we don't feel as good, it's okay. You just do the best you can. So long as you keep trying, that's all that matters. The weather is nice and sunny today. It's a little bit cool, but it's sunny. I appreciate the sunshine. We get so many benefits from the sunshine. Everybody in America, well, maybe not everybody, but a great percentage of people in America are vitamin D deficient. Our number one source of vitamin D is the sun. And see, I'm walking and I'm already kind of winded just walking. Recovery is slow for me. But the vitamin D is critical to our health. It boosts our immune system, our immune system, and causes just general health everywhere. So much of our body depends on vitamin D. Part of the reason we moved to Florida is because it's the sunshine state. And we love the sunshine. It's really nice because when we lived in Tennessee, it rained all winter long. So you didn't get much winter sunshine. Down here, it rains less in the winter and it's sunnier. So I'll take that any day. We live in North Florida, so it still gets cold, but not really cold. I grew up in Michigan. This is nothing. But it's sunny. Sunny is huge. I'm still going to try to do some of the other things as much as I can, but I'm going to cut myself some slack. Because when our body says, hey, I'm having a hard time here, we respect that. And it just seems funny that my hands are empty. I should have grabbed the 1 pounders just to have something in my hand. Even in the house, I don't move very much unless I got something in my hand. If nothing else, we carry around our phone all the time. Or we're washing dishes, cooking food, washing clothes, whatever. We're always carrying something. Plus, I like to crochet, and when I'm moving around, a lot of times I'll take my crochet from chair to chair. Have any of you all had the dizziness with the virus this round? I didn't know that was part of it. I've had it, I don't know, 4 or 5 times now. Every time it goes around, I get it. And this was very mild in comparison to the first few times, but the dizziness was new, and it was real, like really bad real. I haven't done any weight training or anything because I can't bend over yet and pick things up off the floor without feeling like I'm off balance. Said about a fourth of the people that get it this time will get the dizziness. That ain't cool. But we do the best we can, right? We just keep trucking. All right, now that we're out on the road where it's smooth, I'm going to turn around and walk backwards a little. This improves your balance for those of us that are balance challenged. Good for your glutes and good for your knees. Plus, anytime we move our body in a different way, it is much more healthy. You want your body to be completely mobile in every direction, in every possible function. Okay, I'll turn around and walk regular again. I only had a little dizziness in that one little spot that I kind of sidestepped. That's way better than I was a couple of days ago. 3 or 4 days ago, I watched my ceiling fan spin around my ceiling in the bedroom. I was like, whoa, this is just unbearably dizzy. We talk about life. Let me know if you've. It is beneficial for us to move in every possible way we can. Even the reason that virus was milder this time for me could have very well been attributed to my moving. Made me healthier, stronger. There's a car coming. I hear it from the rear. I have to get over to the side of the road. I have very nice neighbors, but I want to give them their half of the road. All right, we're going to try to march a little bit. Marching elevates your heart rate. It teaches your body balance because it's just a second. Only one foot is on the ground, and it has to balance you. It teaches you to raise your knees. I have a tendency to kind of shuffle when I walk, especially when I'm tired. And when I do that, I hang my toe, and that can cause fall downs. So we want to be sure that when we walk, we pick our feet up. My goal is to get to the pole on the side of the road here. Okay. Our soldiers march very fast with rucksacks and even guns, and they're designed, their workout is designed so that if one of their brothers in arms gets injured, they can throw them on their back and just take off carrying them. That's very admirable. It's actually amazing that a human body can do that. Yeah. Our soldiers deserve so much praise and appreciation. I don't think they get enough. Oh, I'm about to get my wind back. All right, I'm going to try to sidestep. And all of this is contingent on getting dizzy. This particular exercise, I actually feel it more in my pushing leg than my pulling leg. And I don't know if everybody's that way or not. Every body is individual, and it depends on which muscles you have toned and strengthened. But this really builds our gluteus minimus, this side muscle here on the side. And if you haven't noticed, I kind of wobble when I walk. We're going to switch sides. When I walk, I teeter from side to side. From what research that I have done, it says when you let your gluteus minimus become extremely weak, that greatly contributes to that. And let's face it, I got no glutes. I got a flattest butt ever. That's something I'm working on. Oh, I'll just walk straight for a minute. Your glutes are the largest major muscle group in your body. They determine independence, really. Whether or not you can get out of a chair without holding your hand up and having somebody pick you up. It depends on whether or not you can go up a flight of stairs. It depends on how far you can walk. Depends on how nice your blue jeans look. I'm doing it for strength. Some people do it. When I was younger, I did it for vanity. Let's stop playing any games here. When I was younger, I wanted a cute butt. Now that I'm in the physical condition I'm in, I want a strong butt. Your glutes are what makes it where you can squat. It makes it where you can just be active in general. If you want to hike, you have to have strong glutes. If you want to do most activities, you need strong glutes. And we all know my goal is to sit in a full squat in my 65th year. I need glutes for that. I have to kind of let this truck go here. And to be honest, today, I'm still recovering from being sick. I didn't want to walk. But you know what? It's good for me. It will help me recover. It's a beautiful day. Sun is shining. I need to walk. All right, we're going to try to sprint for a little bit. And I'm not going to set a distance when my body says I can't do that, then we're going to stop. And I have to say, it's harder than normal. But we're doing it. And that's the important part. You just keep doing it. With this virus, it makes you feel a little more achy all over. But it wasn't near as bad this time as before. And I really think it's because I was moving and exercising that made it where it wasn't as bad. Your body gets benefits that we don't even understand just by moving. Strength training is important. It's great. It has benefits for every part of your body. We all need muscles. But walking If you can't walk, you're going to be sitting in a wheelchair or bedbound. We all need to be able to walk. My grandfather had a sister. Now, these people were born in the 1880s. And she lived to be 95, 98-ish. She never had a car. She walked everywhere. And his health was not as good as hers. He had had a stroke at one point, was a heavy drinker, made moonshine, bought moonshine, drank moonshine. He had kind of been rough on his body. And she would walk every day. It was down the road probably a half a mile. But even in her 90s, she would walk to my grandparents' house and go in and check on him just to see how he was doing. And he was always sitting in a chair in the living room. And she would fuss at him every day. Get up and walk around. His name was Robert. And she'd say, Robert, get up and walk around. Her name was Lassie. And when I was a teenager and I would drive and I would see her coming, she lived past my grandparents' house, so I would drive past their house and I would stop and ask her if she needed, we called her Aunt Lassie. I said, Aunt Lassie, do you need a ride or do you want a ride? And she'd say, oh Lord, no, child. Walking's good for me. She wasn't kidding. As a kid, I didn't think that much about that. But she lived a very healthy life. There's another car. Pappy died when he was in his later 80s, and she lived to be in her mid-90s. And probably the whole difference in that is she walked and he didn't. And she didn't drink moonshine. He drank moonshine a lot. And even had an issue or two with some revenuers. But that was common back in that day. We're almost to our turnaround point. Nice neighbors. And I'm glad we're turning around. I can tell my energy is dipping a little. That's okay, I'm out here doing it. You need to be doing it too. If you can't walk, if you can only sit in a chair and exercise, well, that's okay. Sit in a chair, lift your feet, lift your arms. You do whatever you can to move. I think I've told this story before. My sister's first husband, he was a great skier. He was on a rescue ski team where they went out and when there was avalanches, they found the people that had been injured or fallen or whatever. They would find it was kind of like the St. Bernard of the snow team. Very fit, very active. This was in Michigan. I grew up in Michigan. But he had went out and he was overtired. He had been looking for people for hours and hours. There'd been a snow avalanche there. And so he was just exhausted. And he don't remember anything happening except he just fell. Well, he broke his neck. And I'm going to signal there's a car coming. He broke his neck and was about 3/4 paralyzed. He was in a coma for a long time and had many, many issues. But he still needed to exercise. The physical therapist taught his daughters, they were teenagers at the time, probably, I don't know, 14, 15, 15, 16, to exercise him. So after he come home from the hospital, he wasn't able to walk at all. He could not even wheel himself in a wheelchair. He had a wheelchair that had a little joystick, and he would push it in whichever ways he wanted to go. But his daughters exercised him. Any day physical therapy was not coming, his daughters would exercise him. He had a platform with a big thick mat on it, like the size of a full-size bed. And his daughters helped him get onto that mat. It was about that high up off the ground. And they exercised his legs and his hips. He couldn't move them, but they moved them for him because he needed exercise. We all need to move. Each day the girls would take turns. One day one girl would go, the next day the other girl would go. They took very good care of their dad. My sister had to work, so especially after he got hurt. So he would get his exercise through the girls, which was fabulous. All right, we're going to turn around and walk backwards again for a minute. See if we can do it this time without staggering. There's a tree over there. It has fall colors. How about that? I didn't know Florida had fall colors. See, you learn something new every day. So you don't have to be able to walk to exercise. If you're sitting in a chair, lift your feet. Stick your feet as high up in the air as you can, one at a time. Same thing with your arms. Reach across you and do that kind of thing. Every bit of movement you do makes you more healthy. And the more movement you do, the more movement you're able to do. Okay. Dizziness says time to turn around. Whew. That doesn't make me as winded, but that doesn't mean it's not good for me. You don't have to get winded to get exercise. Mobility comes in a lot of ways. Yoga is great for mobility, but you don't get winded doing yoga. Okay, we're going to march. I forget to swing my arms when I march because I'm focusing on staying upright. I'm going to try to make a much more conscious effort. Oh, it snuck up on me. Much more conscious effort when I march to swing my arms. If you are watching this video and you see things that I'm doing that could be improved, or ideas for things that I should be doing on top of what I'm doing, leave them in the comments. I need all the ideas I can get. I'm not an idea person. All right, we're going to sidestep a little. A lot of people know all about form and know about exactly how you should move to do things. I don't know all that. But I would love to learn if you can put that in the comments. Also, switching legs. I can't turn real sharp because if I turn real sharp, it makes me dizzy. Even though I'm way better, I still struggle with the dizzy a little. And when I get going one way, it's really hard to change to the other way because I still want to pitch that way. I would appreciate if you get any kind of benefit to these videos. If you would like and subscribe, it would help us. We're trying to grow the channel a little bit. It would encourage me too. I'm in it to get fit and for the encouragement. Oh, there's a car coming by. Like today, there's a lot of traffic for our road. It's a pretty day. The neighbors are all out and about doing things. It rained yesterday, so not near as many people want to get out and do things in the rain. You'll save it till it's a sunny day. I'm real bad for that. I'll need to go to the grocery store or go to town for whatever reason. And it'll be raining and I'll be like, it'll wait till tomorrow. Oh, trying to work up the steam to march. I try to do at least 2 rounds on every walk. 2 marches, 2 side steps, 2 backwards walks, and 2 sprints. Actually, I think it's a sprint that I need. So let's sprint. Sprint means be quick. What is your favorite way to get your cardio in? I like to walk. I like to hike. Hike is my favorite. But I haven't been too hikeable lately. I went to Burgess Falls State Park with my granddaughter a few months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago. There's a lot of stairs going up and down to the falls. There's 3 major falls. And every one you go down a bunch of steps and back up a bunch of steps. That told me I better get my butt in gear. I kept having to take rest breaks. And by the time we got to the end of the falls, back to the car parking lot, I was like toast. For Hannah, it was super easy. No problem whatsoever. But she's real athletic. She even coaches ball. She plays and coaches. I was toast. And that was it's a hike. Don't get me wrong, it's a real hike. More so than most state parks are. A lot of hills. Tennessee is all hills. But it wore my butt out. And it should have been, I've done that hike, probably 50 times in my lifetime or more. Probably more than that. When I lived there, I lived in Tennessee for about 45 years. But when we lived there, we went several times a year. Had family reunions there. Always went down to see the falls. My kids like to go there. They like to go there to this day. But when I did that last time, I was like, oh no. Red light, red light, red light. We got to change some stuff. Basically, my exercise routine. I didn't have one at that point. That was when we were moving from Tennessee to Florida, and my full focus was moving. My husband had had the stroke, so he wasn't able to help. We had a big house and a big garage, and it was my responsibility to get everything down here. So there was no exercise during that time. And even though I was extremely busy and I worked really hard, loaded boxes, put stuff in boxes, loaded boxes in trucks, it wasn't exercise. It was activity, but not exercise. And my physical fitness actually slipped during that time. Because I would work real hard until I was just toast. And after I would work real hard, I had to sit down because I was exhausted. There was no walking, filling and moving boxes was kind of weightlifting. But not walking and not doing conscious exercise, not getting my heart rate up, actually caused my physical condition to slack. And I had surgery on my left knee when I was about 35. The stairs have never really been my friend since then. I didn't build the strength it needed back after that surgery. We're going to do that now. If you set goals, make them big goals. Because if you set a little goal, you're only going to make a little progress. If you set a big goal, you will continue to make progress in a much larger scope of things. My goal is to be able to sit in a full squat, and this is about it right now, and to do a chin-up. And of course, we know I can do this right now. But my goal in the next year is to do those two things. If I can sit in a full squat or an Asian squat or whatever you call it, different people call it different things, then my bottom half will be fully flexible and strong. And if I can do a chin up, my top half will be fully flexible and strong. And that is my goals. And I realize it takes time to get there. I just am going to improve 1% every day. And if you have the virus or any other health setback, don't count those days. I don't fuss at myself because when I was sick, I didn't exercise. That didn't count. You have to give yourself grace. We have a water standing in our potholes in our driveway. It rained yesterday. It rained a lot yesterday. Celebrate every victory that you do. This is a victory for me because I have either been in bed or sitting in a chair for the last few days. And I walked today. This is a victory. I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating my victory. It is a wonderful thing. That's some more mud puddle. I need some pigs to go in the mud puddle, don't I? No, I don't need pigs on the road, that's for sure. When we were on the farm and we raised pigs, I did the farmer's carry every day when I went to feed the pigs. My shoulders were healthy, my abs were strong. I could easily carry a 50-pound bag of corn. No problem. We had cattle, and we either fed the square bales, and they ranged from 60 to 90 pounds because they were our hay and we baled them heavy, or we fed those great big round rolls. And we didn't have a tractor back then, so you had to hand roll out the hay to get it to where you wanted to go. So me and the kids would push and roll on that hay to get them to the cattle, and they had to be fed every day. We had 50 cows and 2 bulls and calves, but we had a bunch. They ate a bunch. That was good exercise, and I was fit and strong. I don't do none of that now. I need to make myself fit and strong again. I'm hoping that you had a good walk today with me, or exercised in your chair, or went jogging, or did your ellipticals, or whatever you choose to do. So long as you're moving and not hurting yourself, there's no right and wrong. Everybody has their preferences. Everybody has what they like to do. And if you do the thing you like instead of the thing that you're told you're supposed to do, you'll stick with it better. It won't be near as much of a drudgery. And we don't generally exercise because the exercise is fun. We exercise because we want the value that gives to our body so we can have fun in other ways. Going to the beach, going to the lake, going to the mountains to hike, going to the park, playing with our kids, playing with our grandkids. We want to reap the rewards and do the exercise so we will be able to have fun doing the activities. You might want to play racquetball. You might want to play tennis. You might want to go skiing. You might want to go hiking. You might want to ride horses. There's so many activities that are made more fun and easier if we exercise. So until next time, move all you can, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.